remember the name of it, and I was like, really? That has a name? What one was that?
Man, I wish I had. I just made a graphic with like all the
good. I don't feel
landfalls.
bad anymore that I was like not remembering all these names. That's good. If you guys can't,
It was one of the
then I'm
Frozen
good.
names, wasn't it?
I'm good.
Elsa? No, Elsa came on
Elsa
shore.
hit
Olaf?
Florida.
Olaf? Was
No,
it?
because this was in.
No.
It's in between
Anna,
there.
Olaf, Elsa.
Fred.
What's the deer's name? I don't even know.
Hey, so I'm gonna welcome everybody live that happens to be watching us, or if you happen to be watching the show after the fact, if you're streaming it on YouTube or I guess whatever else it might be on. Welcome. This is Stormfront Freaks Raw. We call this Raw because this is the recording of our audio podcast. We do make this available via video. Sometimes it's fun because it's unedited, which is why we call it Raw. So you never know what you're going to hear, what you might see. Brady's here tonight, so you never know what's going to happen. But welcome, and welcome to our Patreon members that are watching us live. Feel free to jump in the comments. So MJ tonight, just to let you know, MJ is... So a lot of you might know he is the coordinator of his Skywarn network in his county up in Minnesota, and he's got what was a tornado warning for a while and went severe thunderstorm warning just a bit ago, right in his backyard. So he's active with that as well. So I'm trying to do his job, and I can't and talk at the same time. And I'm telling you now, I can't and I won't be able to do that. So.
You're doing a great job.
That being said, I see Timothy is on and Josh is on, Curtis is on. So welcome, guys.
Hey, guys.
Glad you could join us. We got Dan and Angela, of course, are with us as well. And our guest tonight's going to be Matt Lanza. So we'll get started shortly. We'll find out more about his the weather blog. He's a part of Space City Weather. I'm really interested in that and lots of other stuff. So we're excited. We're excited about the show. So here's part of it. So you guys, co-hosts, you get a lot of the questions tonight. Until at least MJ comes back on. I can't think and run and talk, and I'm not that smart. I'm not.
We just need to give you a stick of gum.
Well, that's why we have Dina.
Talk and
Dina
chew gum and walk and chew gum.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it to you guys to start with a lot of the questions and all that good stuff. But so here's what we'll do. So let me kind of run this down. I think everybody sounds good, looks good, all that good stuff. So as always, I'm going to go ahead and I'll start with the little pre-opening intro that we'll edit in, and then we'll do the official open. We'll do our happy hour, what everyone's drinking tonight. We'll introduce you there. Maz has said he's on his way. He might be a little bit late, so he'll probably be popping on here any second.
I was going to say, that's a big responsibility for me of all the one-liners. I don't know if I can
guess
keep
what?
up with that.
I think I just heard him. I did. I just heard him. There he is. Boop.
Oh, wow. Maz, I'm glad you joined. I'm glad you
made
joined,
it just in time, I think. He hasn't officially joined because I still don't see his video yet.
He's still a spinny circle.
He's trying.
There he is.
All right.
Hi, Maz.
Oh, Maz has got his drink. There you go.
Hey. Two-fisted it here. Which one do I drink out of?
You are prepared for the podcast.
All right, so we'll find out what everyone's drinking, and then Serena, I'll turn it over to you to introduce Matt. You can start off the questions. Once again, I'll rely on you guys for a lot of the questions here, but we'll take a break about 25 after the hour. All in the private chat. I'll kind of make some comments there about when, like, last questions before we go to break or something. Then we'll go to a break, and we'll kind of connect back at that point.
Hey, Matt.
So does anybody have any questions before we get rolling? Okay. We're good. We're pros at this now. Crying out loud. 140 episodes. We better be. So I don't know what. Josh, how about gumbo? Oh, was that like the name of the tropical storm, gumbo? I don't think.
No way.
No,
What was? I don't know what that question was.
Funny, but yeah.
I'm not sure what he was asking on that, but
Maybe he's hungry, Phil. I don't know.
okay. Don't forget to go live. I went live. Okay, so I'm just checking what MJ's throwing down. All right, so let's we're gonna go ahead and we'll get started. You guys ready? I'm gonna do the little pre-intro here first. Coming in 3, 2. Hey, Storm Freaks, it's Phil. We got Matt Lanza of Space City Weather. He's with us, and we'll be talking tropical storms in Houston. Also, we're going to hear about our new hashtag WeatherFools. We got some more funny weather memes you'll be using in your next tweet. All of this and more coming up on episode 140 of the Stormfront Freaks. All right. Ready for the real deal?
Ready.
Do it.
All right, so I can't talk and put these banners up and all this shit. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but all right.
Alcohol's your best friend.
Okay.
Oh yeah, drunk.
Cheers.
It helps kind of, loosen things up,
I'll tell you what,
Schmanner.
I'm not getting drunk on this alcoholic seltzer, I'll tell you that much.
Like 2%.
You're usually doing shots during the show.
I'll have to
Phil.
slam. Yeah, I don't know.
That's all right. Remember, it's a podcast. The visuals, they're
true.
nice to have.
I'll just act drunk. How's that sound? They don't have to see me drink. All right.
Go
That
slow
would be
mo.
different how?
All right, here we go. We're coming in. 3, 2. Hey, welcome to the most entertaining weather podcast. This is the award-winning Stormfront Freaks podcast. It's a part of the Stormfront Freaks network. We want to put a special shout out to our Patreon members for supporting the show and joining us tonight. We always like to kind of look to see who's in here tonight. So we always, as always, we have Dan and Angela are with us. Our VIPs are on the show. But we also have tuning in. What do we got? Curtis and Josh and Timothy. So those guys are in as well. But thanks to our Patreon members, you can join us as well at patreon.com/StormfrontFreaks. You can also be in our live chat, or you can actually join us on the show. So check that out. It is always happy hour. So every night we do the show. And if you're familiar with the show, you know this. We always tell you to join us as well, as long as you're not at work or driving. Exception to our guest. I know our guest Matt Lanza is at work tonight, so we'll let him drink if he wants. But the rest of you, if you're driving or at work, please don't join us. But it's the best way to introduce our co-host, so you know who happens to be here tonight, and also let you know we like to have fun. We don't get too serious in our weather conversation. It's always fun weather conversation and storm conversation. So we're going to go around the horn. MJ, who is our producer, live producer, he's actually working tonight as his in his Skywarn coordinator duties. So up in Minnesota, they got some severe storms heading actually right now that are going on. So he's kind of on in spirit. I think I see his tag there somewhere. So he's probably listening in. But I'm going to go to Dina. So Dina, our meteorologist and weather producer with the Weather Channel. Dina, what are you drinking tonight?
I've just got my nice glass of Merlot, so I plan on kicking back and relaxing and having some fun.
Little Merlot, huh?
Little
Lovely.
Merlot. I was just
Wow.
in the mood for some wine. I bought some cool stuff for the show, and then I just wanted some wine.
Okay. That sounds good.
Kind of boring.
All right. Go to Serena, our former meteorologist at the Mount Washington Observatory. What do you got? More beer, or what is it tonight?
Yeah, I'm back. I have another weather-themed beer. I'm pretty excited about this. This is called Cumulonimbus.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good find. It's a tropical sour, and it's from Falling Knife Brewing Company in Minneapolis.
Falling
Wow.
knife.
It's lovely.
Nice.
How do you find all these? These are
Nice job.
cool.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of money on beer with weather.
There you go.
I need to come to Serena's house for a party.
It comes out. It
I've
comes
heard of
out.
house pour, but beer pour? Come on.
yeah, that's me.
All right, Maz, former on-camera meteorologist in Cincinnati. What are you drinking tonight down in the Queen
Got
City?
a mad tree, and we found this. It's awesome. I'm telling you, Jungle Gyms has these 6-packs for like $3.99, but it's only in their initial when they come out. It's a Mad Tree Midwest Luau. Oh, you can't see it with the whole thing. Midwest Luau. It's a tropical IPA, and dang, it's good.
A
Yum.
tropical IPA.
Yeah.
So is
Wow,
it like
from
fruity?
Mad
Is
Tree.
like citrus or something
It
in it?
has kind of a grapefruity thing to it. I'm like,
Oh.
whoa. I don't know.
That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds like something different than I've ever had from Mad Tree. That's because they got good stuff.
Yeah, they do. It's awesome.
Cool. All right, Brady, atmospheric science degree from Ohio State, sir. You got a hockey game tonight, I know, but are you drinking before your hockey game? I hope.
Well, here's the deal. So, I'm keeping on the tropical side. I'm just having some, it's just some orange juice here. and here's why. It's not because of the hockey game. It's because I have a long weekend. Got a wedding. I got a rehearsal dinner. It's gonna be a long weekend. So not me. So I'm pacing myself here. So.
Are you gonna go crazy
for the pregame?
The wedding?
No, maybe modest. We'll see.
You're gonna do the gator? You're gonna do the gator?
I don't know what that is, man. So.
Oh my gosh.
Gee, I don't even know what that is either. What's the gator?
You know the song "Taking Care of Business"?
Yeah.
And you get on your back. It's from Animal House. Okay.
You get on your back? What, like the worm or something? What?
Now that would break your back to try to do the worm on your back. Don't do that.
Actually, that's a good point.
Watch Animal House. You'll know what it's talking.
All right,
Serena. Let's get our guest in here. Let's get rolling.
Sounds good. So tonight we're speaking with Matt Lanza. He's the managing editor for SpaceCityWeather.com, providing forecasts for the Houston Metro. Matt's also a forecast meteorologist in Houston's energy sector, and he previously worked as a broadcast meteorologist in upstate New York. So Matt, why don't we start off by you telling us what you're drinking tonight?
I am drinking a Malbec from Oregon.
Nice.
Yes, because after this week, I need something to relax a little bit.
I thought you were working.
No, just to clarify, this is our home office, so I'm not at work.
Okay, because I was going to give you a slow clap for drinking at work, because drinking at work makes things better. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah. No, so he's at work but not working.
No, he's at home.
No, he's at home.
Office,
Yeah.
right?
Loophole.
Yeah.
Loophole.
Well, so I understand why you've got the Malbec after this. I don't know, week, month, year. I mean, things are a little busy down there in Houston.
It's been chaotic to say the least. I feel like you just catch your breath and then the next thing comes along to kind of just get you to brace yourself. And it's not even that so much that Houston over the last year or so really hasn't been impacted that badly by anything directly, but it's been all these close calls and everything. And we've got people that read our blog in Beaumont and in Lake Charles, so areas that have been a little bit more impacted than we have. So we certainly have had our fair share of scares over the last year, but for the most part, we've managed okay. But it's exhausting. I think any Gulf Coast meteorologist right now is pretty much exhausted.
Because Matt, of this? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dina.
I'm just wondering because you hear about a lot of these places that get hit, and they're still not recovered from the last hurricane or the last hurricane before that. And I'm still curious and I have some neighbors now that moved here from Houston after Harvey who lost their home and everything. And I'm wondering, are you still finding things that haven't been even repaired yet? Are they still recovering from that even?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's definitely. I mean, it's not like, if you drove around the city, you probably wouldn't notice if you were just visiting. But there's certainly homes in parts of town, particularly those that are more socioeconomically disadvantaged that just have not been able to recover, or the process is taking forever. And then we've had all these issues with, supply chain issues and, labor shortages and things like that. So, that's certainly not helping anybody. I think the vast majority of people that were directly impacted have recovered, but there's still a healthy minority here that has not, and that they're still struggling and still very, very vulnerable, should we get another significant storm like we almost did this week. So it's definitely challenging in parts of the city. There's a lot of other things going on behind the scenes politically that in terms of money getting distributed that was supposed to be distributed that hasn't been, that's been held up as well. So that's not helping either. So, you're just dealing with everything that any other region that's dealt with a disaster has dealt with. We're dealing with here still.
Is the power at least back on, or?
Yeah, for most people it is. So we lost about 500,000 from Nicholas the other day in the area. Most of them are back on now. I think there's just a few that are out, but boy, the reactions were not pretty when people lost power the other day. There's still a lot of trauma from what happened in February here.
I was wondering if that was still an issue because you brought up political issues, and you're wondering are they still having issues with power grids and things like that?
Yeah, they've done some things to help, I think, improve the situation across Texas. I don't think they've necessarily done enough per se. I think anybody you would talk to would probably answer the same way. It's a process. It's not going to be something that just changes overnight, as much as you wish it could be. But there's certain things that will happen that will hopefully harden the grid a little bit more. Should we have another significant outbreak again? But I'm not feeling that optimistic that that's going to happen this year. So hopefully we can avoid back-to-back years with extreme cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Matt, I'll go ahead. Matt.
I was just saying, are you guys like, is there anybody tracking how many people are like, that's it, I'm done with Houston, this is it? Is there like any kind of a gauge from year to year where it's like, oh, there's another 10,000 that are gone?
Well, it's funny because, I hear from people sometimes on social media, they'll be like, oh, this is exhausting. And then every now and then I'll get the comment from somebody like, yeah, I live in Colorado now, or I live in California now, or wherever. And it's like, I left Houston because of all that and everything. But you look at statistics from, I don't know if it's U-Haul or whatever the moving companies are that talk about migration across the country. And Houston is one of the top cities still for people to move to because, probably
Really?
because the economy is fairly strong here. There's still a lot of jobs and it's relatively inexpensive compared to some other major cities. So, it's the growth has not stopped. If you travel to the west side of the city or the north side of the city, or even sometimes the south side of the city, you'll see new developments going in over places that used to be farmland or prairie or whatever. So there's still growth here and there's still demand for it. And I think that the housing situation last year certainly didn't hurt that, and it continues to kind of grow from there. So, it's a blessing and a curse. It's nice to have a strong economy, but at the same time, we are causing issues that are going to ultimately lead to more flooding in the future. So you take the bad with the good, I guess.
Yeah.
So you're saying not enough people are paying attention to the weather forecast.
I mean, and it's funny. Some people do come here. I think now most people realize, oh, well, it can flood here sometimes. But I think that there's just been this propensity to, the weather is just something you deal with and you live with. And I think that the last 5 or 6 years have kind of proven that, at least here in Houston, you can't necessarily live with it. You have to do something about it. And whether that's flood mitigation or building what we call the Ike Dike, which is a coastal spine to help protect against storm surge, all these projects that are on the board. I mean, we got to do something because the status quo is not going to work. It's just not going to be tenable.
Yeah.
I missed that. What's the Ike Dike?
So the Ike Dike is what we call a coastal spine or coastal barrier. It's a multi-billion-dollar project that came about as a result of Hurricane Ike back in 2008. So this is 13 years later. We're talking about this now. And we're finally making progress toward building it. It's supposed to harden the Houston Ship Channel and some of the coastal areas against the storm surge from, we know that there have been very bad hurricanes here in the past, and that when one of them takes the wrong track, it's going to be devastating. And so there's just not enough protection in this area for that because, a lot of people from outside Houston, I don't think realize that the Houston Ship Channel is just a massive port. And if you shut that off, that becomes a national crisis because there's a lot of things with chemicals could cause an environmental catastrophe. So there's a lot of issues that are at play here that I think people don't really realize. But now here we are 13 years later, we're finally making strides toward a project that's going to take 10 to 15 years to build. So
that's amazing. That long to actually get your butt moving on something is a problem.
Yeah.
And then you still have to build it.
It's wild.
It's like you got to go through and approve it and get the money. And oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It's a headache, and it's there's definitely been a little bit more of a call to arms in the last, I want to say, year and a half, especially after Hurricane Laura last year being a very close call for Houston. Even having a couple of models bring it into Houston, kind of that worst case scenario, about 2 days before it made landfall. So there were some moments there where people were scared, including myself. I was not very comfortable with what I was seeing. I think that finally there's a little bit of will to actually do this. But it's the same problem that a lot of places have in terms of hardening infrastructure and building to mitigate against disasters. There may be some popular will among the people, but the money, you got to find the money for it. And not everybody's willing to spend billions and billions of dollars to say that we need to do this because the percent chance of it happening is so small. But the reality is, if you don't do it, I mean, look at New Orleans with Ida. I mean, I know Ida wasn't a worst case track for New Orleans, but they managed obviously okay, other than the power outages in the city, because they have protection. People that were outside of New Orleans, not so much. So, that investment does pay off.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk then a little bit about, forecasting this, right? So we've talked about the the difficulties you have in the area, but you've had Harvey, you've had Laura, now you've had a close call, a brush by Nicholas, and there's a very long history there of, you being a stormy area, clearly. So talk a little bit about what it's like to be at Space City Weather and what it's like to forecast this kind of stuff, the amount of time that's going into it and, how great or awful it may be.
Yeah, it's been crazy, and it's been one of those things that so Eric Berger was a science writer for the Houston Chronicle, and so this is how Space City Weather came about. He had a blog in the Houston Chronicle, the newspaper here, and it was pretty popular, and it attracted like a pretty good following. And then when he left the Houston Chronicle, just prior to that, I had started working with him and helping him out on Fridays with just some posts. And when he left, he was like, "Hey, do you want to start this site? How do you like Space City Weather?" Sure, that's fine. We both have full-time jobs. This is not our primary thing, but we had a little bit of a following, and we like writing about and communicating weather. And so it just kind of worked. And little did we know that as we were doing this, we were going to become kind of the epicenter for flooding in the country. And just one after the other. Because we had a Memorial Day flood in 2015. We had Tax Day 2016, which flooded the whole a large chunk of the city. Then obviously Harvey and Melda, some people forget that, in 2019 flooded parts of the Houston area. So it's just been one after the other after the other. And with each storm, we've actually seen a growth in our viewership. I mean, just during Nicholas, in the few days of Nicholas, we had over 1 million people visit our blog. During Laura last year, I think it was up over 2 or 3 million for the week, and Harvey was up around 3 or 4. It was, it became kind of people just sharing our posts with neighbors and friends and family and things like that. So it's been kind of a very organic thing, but it's kind of blown up beyond any of our expectations. So we view it as we've started to view it more as a community resource more than like a job. Like we enjoy the forecasting, and that's obviously part of it, but we really like to communicate it, and we like to communicate it in a way that is real to people. A lot of times people will look at some of us as meteorologists and not see us as scientists, and just kind of, we're I don't want to say preaching to them, we're not, but sometimes it comes off that way. And so what we write in a very conversational style, and we're just, get to the facts, and, we sort of advertise ourselves as no hype. Because basically what we want to do is be boring 95% of the time, and then that 5% when you need to ramp up and get ready, we're there, and we're ramped up too, and you'll know. So that's kind of our mantra.
Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry, Matt.
I was just say, if you're at 2 to 3 million, are you hoping someday to be as popular as Stormfront Freaks?
There it is.
Goal.
It's always good to have something to aspire to.
There it is. So Matt, I got a question. I was just looking at your Twitter, and I saw this from you a couple of days ago. We talk about these 19 tropical storms or hurricanes that have come in the last year or two, and you talk about being crazy busy and almost exhausted. And I think we hear that sometimes from National Hurricane Center meteorologists as well in forecasting, but I don't think we truly understand it. Because we see the products that come out, and we're consumers of it, but we're not producers. You guys are producers actually in there grinding, looking at the forecasts. What is that like from the time inception to landfall? What's that craziness look like? So
the whole dynamic has changed, I want to say, in the last 5 to 10 years. When I first started out, it started out in the mid 2000s. I'm not that old, I guess, relative to some others in the field, but it was, you had some model data that you could use, and the only people using it really were either hardcore weather enthusiasts or the meteorologists. And as we've gone through time, we've sort of democratized weather information, which is great. Everybody can utilize weather information, but everybody can get hold of a GFS model or a Euro model that shows a Cat 4 or 5 spinning in the Gulf.
Yeah.
So
240 hours out, they're showing that. Yeah.
800 millibars, right? Exactly.
Exactly. So, what has changed, I think, in my opinion, is that now it becomes relentless, because you're tracking a wave from inception 10 days before it actually emerges, and then you have to track it 10 days across the ocean, and then you have, like the Harvey example, you have 5 or 6 days of impacts, and then you have the recovery. So I mean, right there, you're talking about one large storm could cost you 3-4 weeks of time and energy just looking at it.
Yeah.
And it's not that you can't ignore it now, because people are going to ask you questions about it. And also you can't ignore it because you almost have a responsibility to communicate, even if there's a wide band of uncertainty, which there almost always is. But if you don't communicate it, now people start accusing you of hiding things or not being truthful and stuff like that. So you have that to deal with as well. So it just becomes a marathon. Every storm is now a marathon, and you're going through that. And the Gulf Coast has gone through that 15, 20 times in the last 2 years, and I mean that's just it takes time to recover from that. I remember after Harvey, I looked at my Fitbit and my resting heart rate. It took me probably about 3 to 4 weeks after Harvey to actually get back to a level that was normal,
really?
because you were just so amped up and so stressed and everything. It was, it's exhausting. And there's so many of these stories out there.
Yeah.
More alcohol helps. Just saying.
I understand what you mean. Like I sit at my desk all day, pretty much right here. But after hurricane days, I mean, I'm so physically tired and I haven't done anything physical, but it's just so draining because your mind's going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, after Nicholas just this week, I mean, and Nicholas wasn't really that bad here in Houston. I mean, we did have a lot of stress leading up to it because there were, occasional models putting 25 inches of rain over the city, which would have been disastrous. But, fortunately, most of that fell at the coast or away from here, and at least it doesn't look like it's been that awful. But I mean, yesterday, I finally came off the adrenaline rush. I mean, I had a headache. I was exhausted. I had to leave work early because I was just I felt completely run down. And you just have to have that time to recover, and you need that after every single one of these now.
Yeah, well, a lot of respect, Matt, and to all the other forecasters right now. I don't think we, in the general public who don't do that, understand that enough. So, a lot of praise to anyone really that's in the public eye that helps communicate and keep people safe. People don't realize how much they go through. So,
thank you.
Well,
it's fun.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, it sounds like Matt's got storm fatigue, which I don't blame him there. But is anybody missing chase season? That's what I want to know. Like, is anybody now? Yeah. MJ probably isn't because he's they're getting some storms up in Minnesota. But if you're like me or Dan or Angela or others, I'm missing chase season. So it's time to share and hear your 2021 chase stories. And I think other people's chase stories, and the best way to do that is by going to a chaser convention. And it's another great way that I've found that you can prep your skills and your weather skills for the oncoming season. But what I'm talking about is the Mid-Atlantic Chaser Con. It's coming, and I think you need to be in Richmond, Virginia. That's where it's going to be at. It's Saturday, November 6th. It's a one-day event. Registration is already open, and you can catch the presenters they got people from the National Weather Service, TV meteorologists, emergency management, and of course, they've got lots of chasers. So check out, tickets are limited, definitely. So register right now at the special advanced ticket price that's available, and do that before it closes, and you can get that at midatlanticchasercon.com. I know it's kind of a mouthful, but midatlanticchasercon.com. And I'll tell you what, we're proud to be a huge media partner with these guys. We're going to have stickers. We're going to have door prizes to hand out there. So again, go register today, midatlanticchasercon.com. So, hey, it's time for a break, everybody. We're going to go ahead. We'll be right back with more from Matt. So stay tuned.
Is anyone from the show going to that?
I am unable. I normally I was going to be going to that, but I'm not going to be able to go to that because I'm going to be in Key West, Florida.
Oh, nice.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, but
sounds like it's going to suck for you.
We are. We're also working with the National Storm Chaser Summit, which is going to be in Oklahoma City in January. And so we're going to be working with them as well, and I think I might go to that one.
Another Stormfront Freaks trip to Oklahoma City, maybe.
Could be if anybody's interested. It's a 2-day event in January.
Why don't we just make it Florida?
Angela will be there. She'll be.
Where
she'll
is
be
it
checking
exactly? Where?
It is.
It's a Sheridan in Midwest City.
Yeah,
there you
anyone's hearing
go.
that
Midwest
gnarly
City.
echo?
Yeah,
it's
that's
Angela.
Angela. I'm gonna mute you again, Angela, for a sec. Boop, cutting you off. Yeah, yeah. She just said it. Something city. It's near Oklahoma City.
It's Midwest City.
Midwest City, which
There's a city called Midwest City.
Midwest City?
Yeah,
Where the
that's
hell is Midwest?
confusing.
I'm good at
That's
geography.
confusing.
It's kind of
part
on
of
the
the
east
map.
side.
It's part of the Mac.
The East. Oh, okay.
it's on the east side. I'm an
Mid-Atlantic
east sider, baby.
country.
Midwest
Great.
City in the house.
Midwest City on the east side.
Great.
Midwest City. I gotta Google this. I don't know where it is.
Matt, you need
Okay.
more wine, buddy. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Come on, get some more ball
Dan, what's going on in Minnesota? There is that Minnesota still? You got pulled up?
Yeah, that's the southern cluster.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were in Texas.
I move around.
We're keeping an eye on what MJ's looking at up in Minnesota.
Looking out for MJ.
Yeah. man.
Looking out for
These are gnarly
MJ.
storms.
It's Midwest City in Oklahoma, near Oklahoma City. So
Right, that's why I
Throws
just
you
said
off a little
Oklahoma.
bit.
That's Oklahoma City. So, okay. So, questions, Angela, Dan. You guys have any questions for Matt Lanza right now?
Yeah, I've got a quick
Great.
one.
Okay.
And I don't know. But so I understand you've got like some serious popularity down in Houston. Do any of the local media outlets try to collaborate or pull you in to maybe grab some of your followers?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting the dynamic and the relationship that we have, because like we sort of, I mean, our mantra is no hype, right? And so that's almost like a direct assault at TV stations, which generally are presumed to be hyping, which, you know, I feel bad about sometimes. Other times I don't. But, you know, I've been there. I know what it's like. But I have the utmost respect for all the meteorologists down here. I've got a good relationship with some of them as well. And so what we've seen is we haven't really seen any of the TV stations, I don't think, like directly do that. We've had the NPR affiliate down here. Houston Public Media always has, you know, one of us on to talk about things when the weather gets kind of interesting. The Houston Chronicle usually use us to kind of, you know, for a quote or two or something like that. Which is nice, but the TV stations generally don't, I think, because we're kind of technically sort of competing with them in a way. But yeah, it's an interesting dynamic sometimes, and it can be a little awkward. I mean, I'm naturally averse to conflict, so like sometimes it's just like, yeah, well, it's just reality. So
Yeah, that's actually gonna be one of the things I want to talk about when we come back from the break is, you know, kind of how well you guys do compared to your media outlets, you know, and I mean, I can't remember, you and I have talked about this before in the past where, and I don't remember what it was. It's like the number of followers you have or something like that is higher than your media outlets down there. Like it's crazy what you guys are doing. And so kind of hearing a little bit about that and how you're doing that is going to be cool.
Cool.
yeah, it's interesting situation we found ourselves in here.
It's awesome.
All right. Well, let's do this. We'll go ahead and we will come back out of break. I will start with the questions, and I will we'll kind of gear it towards. I was just looking at Brady's comment. Get a picture, and I'm like, what the fuck? Get a picture of what? MJ was talking about hail. I'm like, what? Get a picture.
in fact, yeah, what is he saying? Go get some video. I could use it on the Weather
yeah, get video,
Channel
yeah.
app tomorrow.
You could be on the Weather Fools if you get hit by one.
Yeah.
All right, so we will come back from break. I'll start with the questions. We'll kind of keep going till about, I don't know, 9:45, 9:50-ish. Again, guys, keep a little bit an eye on the private chat, because I'll kind of say, hey, last question, or anybody have a question, and I kind of threw that out there, and I think you guys asked 3 more questions after I said that. So
You guys.
We're just
So,
testing you
yeah.
tonight, Phil. That's all.
Yeah.
God,
Be on your toes.
You know, MJ could handle it. Just saying.
Ow.
fuck you.
Whoa! Hey, now you got to bleep that out, Phil, because you're an
No, no.
He is getting
Nah,
drunk
this
off
part,
that.
this
Oh,
part's
yeah,
edited
it's
out
not-
anyway.
He had
We're
a
on
smiley
break.
face
Very
emoticon.
good.
I was all emoji.
We're on break.
It's
We're on
nice.
break.
It's a
This is
friendly
this is the raw stuff, right? Okay, so we're coming out of break, and then so about 10 till, right around there, Matt, we're gonna play our lightning round.
Okay.
What's going on with Angela? She's opening
know,
up
go,
the
Angela.
wine, drinking it straight out of the bottle,
Ever since the
Arte!
reverb incident,
getting the weekend started. I like it.
All right, so when you hear that sound, Matt, that'll be time for our lightning round. So we will play a little game show, and then at that point, I'll kind of ask you, how people can find the website and find you, follow you on social media, all that good stuff.
Cool.
And we'll go to our second break. Okay. Everybody ready? Everybody good to go? Angela,
Good
we
to
got
go.
you muted so we don't get an echo. Echo,
here,
Angela,
gulping that wine.
Angela.
who's got the question coming in?
Me, I always have it.
And Miz, did you still have yours then after that?
Who?
Did you still have yours? You said you had one more. I don't know if you asked it. The last
Yes, I have it still. That's why I was.
Yeah,
asking.
and let's all hear it for Brady that tried to get a question in 5 times and
It was
Didn't work.
perfect, though. It was perfect.
Stop.
It's like-
Brady.
Brady's like, oh, no, go ahead, Dina. No, go ahead, Serena. No,
That
go
was
ahead,
bad.
Maz.
Bad. I kept her. I didn't want to interrupt anyone.
God, you don't know this show very well, Brady. It's been too long. It's been too long. All right.
You're right.
You ready to roll, Matt? We're good to go.
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right, here we go. We are coming in. I got to find where I'm going. 3, 2. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hey, so we got meteorologist Matt Lanza of Space City Weather. Now, this would be the time, Angela, to have your echo, right? Space City weather. But so, Matt, my question is actually a little less weather themed, a little more business themed. So, I mean, we're talking about the millions of followers or whatever that Space City. So here's my question, right? It's a blog. Is that accurate
Yes.
to say it's a blog? Now, I don't know about you guys, and I'm not some young pup either, but how do you get that many followers? Like, who has time to read a blog to find out what the weather is? I mean, to me, that almost seems like it's an outdated system for what you guys do, which I've looked at, and you guys have great stories, and you have all that kind of stuff, but who's got time to read stuff anymore? How is that blog having that kind of success?
Yeah, I think some of it is, some of it I think is Eric's doing from his following that he had with the Houston Chronicle. Obviously, starting at a print, organization and transitioning while he was there to a digital kind of media outlet is kind of been helpful. To kind of start off with a number of people, but the growth that we've seen has certainly been out of the norm, I think. And I think it's based on the feedback that we've gotten from readers. It's for a couple of reasons. It's number one is that we are, going back to the no hype thing that we're just to the point. We're just honest. We speak conversationally. It's very digestible stuff. It's not like we're going to go in there and start giving you, big detailed meteorology lessons. Sometimes we will, sure. You got to geek out, right? And there's going to be that niche of viewers that wants that, or readers that wants that. But we tend to avoid it. We want to give people the information that they want when they want it. So we try and keep our posts kind of short. We don't go too in depth. But I think it's just the fact that so many people now are consuming, their content on their phones. And it's just really easy now to just tap a button or go to an email and tap a link and just read through and see, okay, that's that, or skim it. I understand not everybody's going to read the whole thing. And I just think it is this sort of that we're real, that we're just two dudes writing a blog, and that I think that kind of works in 2021 in a way because of
the name does. Two dudes doing a blog. That's good.
I mean, you couldn't get any geekier than us. So just the way that the whole media ecosystem is evolving, I think that there's definitely a hunger for that type of a form of media that's something some people just like to read rather than watch video all the time.
And you guys don't do video or anything like? Have you experimented to see if something else might work?
We do drop a couple of tests into the water sometimes, and so we recently just launched actually a Spanish language co-site because we have so many Spanish speaking people in the Houston area. It's been something that we've wanted to do for a long time, and actually a former broadcast meteorologist approached us and was like, you guys really should do that, and we're like, hey, that's something we've been trying to do for a long time. We just know how. So Maria Sotolongo is her name. She used to be on the CW affiliate here in Houston, and now she helps us write and translates our posts into Spanish. And so she comes from that video background form. So she's trying to encourage us to do a little bit more of that. And it's actually kind of funny. We did this in the run up to, I think it was Ida. I'm not sure which storm it was. It was one of the recent storms. It didn't hit Houston. And we just did like a 3 or 4 minute YouTube thing and published it, and the feedback was like, oh, this is great, we really like this, like doing that. And then you would get the other half of people like, please don't change what you're doing, please keep doing what you've always done, we like it so much. So it's just kind of interesting to see that. But I think that as we kind of mature, we're starting to come to the idea that you want to meet people where they are. Not everybody's going to want to read, not everybody's going to watch video, so you want to try and get the best of both worlds if you can. So I think we'll be more willing to dip our toes into some of this other stuff as time goes on.
So, at least if you don't take away, I mean, it feels like you could add if you want to do a YouTube video, as long as you don't take away what they like.
Yeah, exactly.
Safe. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of like the style, just reading through it, and it's kind of short and sweet and to the point, but also conversational and non-hype, right? Like I want something like that. I feel like too many times I'm scrolling through Twitter and every other post is, a train driving through a 50-foot high snowbank saying it's going to be snowmageddon tomorrow, or 284 hours of the GFS. So I actually kind of like this kind of approach.
Yeah, and that's what we try and do, and we try and stay true to that. And I mean, every now and then, you're just gonna have to address something that's out there because somebody will post about it or whatever, and we get questions from people. We were getting questions before Nicholas even left Houston about was Invest 95L that's out in the Atlantic that might become Odette. People just want to know, like, is that going to come into the Gulf? Like, all right, well, first of all, let's breathe. Let's get through Nicholas. Okay. You just there is a little bit of hand-holding that's involved, I think, sometimes. And people, the more that I do this, the more I realize people want that. People want you to kind of hold their hand and guide you through it. And that's one other thing that I think we do pretty well is we come at it from the side of empathy. And I think that that's going to be very important going forward, especially in a place like Houston where people are just completely disaster worn out from everything that we've had to deal with here in the last 5 years. People really, they like that kinder, gentler kind of tone. And we really kind of feast on that. That's what we're just naturally inherently empathetic people. And so we get it. And we want to convey that to people through our writing and through how we do things. And it seems to resonate with people. And I think that, when I talk to students or other people that are interested in getting into it, I tell them, like, look, the weather and the forecasting part is very important, but you got to be able to communicate it. And you have to be able to communicate it effectively to people. And this is one way that we've learned how to do it. And it seems to work for us.
You guys are really nice. I mean, so far you've made it sound like, well, the viewers are like, oh, don't change. And then you've had oh, that's great. But where are the trolls? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
You guys got those?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We definitely have trolls. We'll get the occasional person that will come in and be like, oh, your forecast was off by X inches of rain or something like that. And what's hilarious to me is that, you just kind of learn not to engage them and just whatever, and let them say their piece. But man, our viewers or our readers, they will go after them. And they are fiercely loyal. And that's the one thing that just kind of baffles me and boggles my mind is that they are so loyal to us. And I think that I've seen that with other meteorologists too, that they'll do something one time and you've won them over forever. And they will stick with you and be fiercely loyal to you and defend you. They'll still shop around and look at other forecasts, but they will always come back to you in the end. And that's what's kind of been interesting with our readers and that I've seen happen elsewhere too.
There's this amazing. Oh, sorry, Maz, go for it.
I just want to apologize to all of your readers then, because they are so nice and 3 million coming after me. So my name is Phil. Just in case you don't know. Oh, I'm number one.
Hey, you don't have to edit that. It's all right. We don't have to edit that.
Oh man. You made me forget my question now, Maz. I had a good one. Oh no, it reminds me. There's an old like business additive and the whole like customer service type of aspect, and that is that people will not remember what you do for them, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. And I feel like that's a really big part of what you're doing. That you're helping give information. You're helping people feel secure or safe or be prepared if they need to be. Like you're giving them that warm fuzzy, even if it could be a terrible situation. And that's what'll create the loyalty. It's awesome.
Wait a minute. Who's getting a warm fuzzy? Wait a minute.
But this is why, when you guys look, one of the things I know about you guys is your following is better than like your media down there. You guys do a better job with, the followers that you have and stuff than your TV meteorologists. That's incredible. I'm guessing it's really just because of that.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. I think the other thing is we're not afraid to necessarily engage. Like I like to engage followers on Twitter, and if people ask questions, I'll answer them. It's kind of the James Spann approach of things. Like don't ignore your people there. That's what they're there for. And I kind of take that to heart, and I like to answer. Like there's going to be instances like this week where it's just too chaotic and you just can't do it, and you just try and help people along as best you can. But people really do appreciate that, and people really like when you do that. And yeah, we'll get a pass sometimes from some of our viewers. Like they'll say, "Oh, you nailed this forecast," and I'm just sitting there like, "No, we didn't. This forecast sucked." Like, what are you talking about? And but it's because of that perception that you've created with that person that they believe that you did it the way you communicated it. I guess was with enough uncertainty that they kind of understood that. With the run up to Nicholas here, one of the things we did after Tropical Storm Imelda in 2019 is we created a flood scale for our website. And it's something that we got a little bit of feedback from people that wanted, and it was just a 1 through 5. We want to set your expectation going into a flood event as to what you can expect. So, okay, we're expecting another Harvey, or we're expecting another, just street flooding event, whatever it is on the scale. And we went through and we researched and provided some examples for each level. And so during the run up to Nicholas, we started off with a 2 out of 5, and then we moved it up to a 3 when it looked like it was going to get a little dicier. And then we pulled back when we had to. But what we did throughout is we emphasized there's uncertainty. There's things that could go wrong with this forecast. It could be worse. It could be better. Here's how it would happen. And we'll adjust as we need to. And people, I think, respect that. Look, we're putting it out there, and we'll change it if we have to. Because one of the worst things a meteorologist can do is stick to a forecast that's going to bust. And I see it happen with some people sometimes, and they just don't give it up. And you just got to give it up and move on, and just accept your loss and adjust and give people the information. I think that's something that we've done pretty well, and that's helped.
How far away do you have like readers and stuff? I know you're like Houston, but do you get people like far away too?
We do sometimes. We will get, there's some people that live in other parts of the country that'll, forward our stuff back to people that live in Houston. It's just like, okay, that's different. But we actually do have quite a few people now kind of on the outskirts. Like, people will ask us, is there anybody in Dallas that does what you do, or Austin or Beaumont or New Orleans? And we're just kind of blown away by all this stuff. And it kind of, the temptation's there, like, well, maybe we should kind of expand. But at the same time, like, we've built this loyalty up in Houston for Houston. And, you don't want to necessarily mess with that. Because then it kind of looks like you're trying to expand, and that's your goal, and that's not our goal. So, who knows where it goes in the future, but, for now we try and sort of cover the outskirts a little bit when we can. If there's a storm that's coming to Houston that's going to flood Beaumont, we'll let them know about that, and they'll get posts shared with people too. So it's definitely interesting.
All right, I just spilled my beer. My alien behind me just fell down face first.
Oh no!
And knocked my seltzer over on the table. But hey, it is still time for lightning round while I watch my beer drip off the end of the table. That sound. It was
my alien.
It was. This is going to be interesting. Okay. It's creeping towards my laptop, so bear with me. But Matt, hey, that sound, it's time for our lightning round. So this is our game show of fun and interactive and exciting and brilliant questions that we always play with our guests. And tonight is no different, Matt. We're going to play a little game tonight. So you're down in Houston, right? And that's in the state of what?
Texas.
So we're going to play a little game called What's Bigger Than Texas?
Ooh.
What's bigger than Texas, right? So here's how this works, Matt. We basically pulled some Guinness Book of World Records big stuff. Just big things that have won the Guinness Book of World Records. And you have to tell me, so I'll tell you what it is, and you just have to tell me, is that actually in the state of Texas or is it another state in the United States?
All right.
But these are all biggest in the United States, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. So here's the first one we're going to start with. And this is a 320. The size of this is a 328D pair of leather cowboy boots. So is that in Texas or is that not in Texas? World's largest pair of cowboy boots.
I would think it's in Texas, so I'm going to go with yes.
Yeah,
that would be correct.
Boots.
It's in El Paso.
What is that shoe size? 32D? Like
328D.
Oh,
It's like it sounds like a bra size, doesn't it?
I was wondering, are we doing double D cups or
They're
what?
numbers. I don't understand that.
All right, so you're off to a good start. I threw a softball at you there. Okay, this is an 8-foot by 16-foot sculpture of a pecan. It's the largest sculpture of a pecan. Is this in Texas or not in Texas?
I'm going to say no to that.
Oh,
That's actually in Texas. Seguin, Texas.
Okay, yeah.
Matt, your
right?
mistake was listening to me. Don't ever do
Yeah, I didn't
exactly
think so.
opposite of what I do.
pecans aren't a Texas thing, are they? I guess not.
All right, so this is the world's largest thermometer. It's a 134-foot tall thermometer.
That I know is not in Texas because I've been there.
Where is it?
That is in Baker, California.
It is in California, yep, near Death Valley, California.
It's like a working thermometer.
Yeah, actually it is.
Wow.
I read something where the electric bill was like $8,000 a month to keep this operating. And so they had to shut it down for a while, but they must have found the money because it was back.
We gotta have it.
Back up
How
and
much
running.
mercury is in that?
Temperature
That's
on
what I
there. Yeah, come.
All right, so here's the next one. It is a art easel, world's tallest art easel. It's 80 feet tall. This sucker's big. Is that in Texas?
See, I would think it wouldn't be, but I'm going to say yes.
Oh,
It is not. Maz, you're shaking your head. Do you know where this is?
Thinking it's in New England. It's like Maine or something.
No, it's Kansas, but you're close.
Very close.
See, Kansas. I knew it. I knew it was Kansas.
It's like
Yeah.
Tornado
I'm
Alley.
very close to Kansas.
Canvas. I mean, it's the
All right,
same
all right, here we go. Next one, Matt. This is a 40-foot high mosaic of the Virgin Mary. 40-foot tall Virgin Mary. Texas or not?
I'm going to say yes.
That'd be correct. That's in San Antonio.
all right.
It's got big Virgin Mary there. Okay, 70-foot tall fly fishing pole. 70. This is a long fishing pole, by the way.
I don't think so. I'm going to say no.
You're going to say no?
Yeah.
You would be wrong.
What?
It is in
gosh.
Port Isabel.
Oh, wow.
Really?
It has a 70-foot long fly fishing pole.
states. I don't
Sorry,
know.
Matt.
I guess.
Matt's like making a list of places to visit with his family now in Texas.
Yeah.
These are good. All right, so this is a weird one. It's a doctor's bag replica. It's a replica of a doctor's bag. It's a 20-foot wide by 15-foot tall doctor's bag. Is this Texas? Bigger in Texas?
Who keeps track of this stuff?
No.
Phil.
The Guinness Book of World Records does, actually.
I'm going to say, you know what? I'll say yes.
You say that's Texas.
Yeah.
That is not in Texas. That would be in the lovely state of Delaware. Has
Like,
the
what's-
doctor's bag.
Like, what's
Tiny
the
little
most,
Delaware
like,
has to have the big bag.
oh, honey, let's go to the doctor's bag. We'll go. This is going to be great.
All right, so who's a
where do you get the
baseball
milk?
fan? Anybody on here a baseball fan? All right, so Matt, this is a 34-ton baseball bat. Is that bigger in Texas?
Isn't that called a tree?
Yes.
Paul Bunyan.
In California.
I'm going to say no. That's not in Texas.
That is correct. That would be in Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville,
In
yeah.
Kentucky.
Really?
Louisville Slugger.
Oh, Louisville Slugger.
At the
That's right.
Slugger factory.
All right, here's a little softball maybe. World's largest or I might be catching you. World's largest cowboy statue.
I'm going to say no, not in Texas.
It's a trick question.
It's Vegas.
Oh,
Actually, it is in Texas. Have you been to the Texas State Fair?
Serious?
Where is the Texas State Fair?
That's up in Dallas.
Yeah, it's down.
All right.
We tend to
Well,
avoid
hey,
Dallas.
that's
What's
Dan.
his name? He's got
Dan, I don't know.
the big
Oh,
cowboy.
yeah, there is a name to it.
Tex. Yeah.
Tex. Okay.
Original.
Original.
There's,
Even his viewers and listeners won't call him on it. Oh, he's so nice.
all right. How about here's the largest rectangular pizza pie, coming in at 8 feet wide by 32 inches long. It's an 8 foot by 32. You have to order this thing 48 hours in advance, by the way.
Who has an oven for that?
Yeah.
I gotta think that's in Chicago, but no, not Texas.
Whoa.
That is in Burleson, Texas. You can go get an 8 foot by 32 inch rectangular pizza pie as long as you give them 48
How
hours.
is that fitting in your car? You're gonna have to put that on the.
You got to eat it and
at the
eat your
top.
feelings when you're feeling
Hey,
depressed.
Hey, Matt.
You're not taking that home.
Matt, how long have you been in Texas?
Not long enough, apparently.
Okay. Well, here's another one then for you. This is right up Brady's alley, but it's a 7 foot wide pair of underwear. It is the largest pair of underwear in the United States. Is that because it is in Texas where everything's bigger?
Sure. Let's do it.
Why would I have the big underwear? Come on, man.
That would be in Missouri. That's hanging up in some museum in Missouri on a big wall. On a big wall in Missouri. All right, 14 and a half foot tall Jackrabbit statue. Does that hold its place in the big state of Texas or somewhere else?
I'm going to say somewhere else.
Wow.
Rawls? Anybody know where Rawls, Texas is?
Pretty sure
No
Matt
idea.
doesn't.
R-A. Well, it's bigger in Texas. All right,
big state.
we got
Big
one
state.
more. This is a 40-foot diameter clock. It is the largest clock in the United States. Is that found in the big state of Texas?
I mean, every time I guess no to Texas, I'm wrong. So I guess it's in Texas.
Wow.
That would be in Indiana. That would be in the Indiana.
It was close. Only a couple hundred miles.
It was good. It was good. Matt, I'd tell you did a great job, but you really didn't. So I don't know what to say.
We like
still
him
win.
anyway.
We like
Still
honesty.
win.
So
A for effort, Matt.
I don't know what to say, but do this. Tell everybody first off where they can find Space City Weather and how they can follow you on social media. Good follow.
yeah, thank you. So spacecityweather.com is our blog. We have an app actually as well in the App Store and on Android as well. And you can find me on Twitter at Matt Lanza. Very easy. I do have a Facebook page, but I don't really update it very much. So feel free to follow me there if you'd like, but I'm not going to get too much. I'm more of a Twitter guy. So
I love that. I've got a Facebook page. I don't use it, but you're certainly welcome to follow me
If
for
you're
no
gonna
reason.
bitch, then you go to
What's-
Facebook.
For no reason whatsoever. Hey, it is always storm season at helicity.co/SFF because they've got a huge selection of weather and hurricane themed t-shirts and merchandise, including, as many of you know, it's our official provider of Stormfront Freaks shirts, beverage containers, and stickers. All you got to do is go to the exclusive site helicity.co/SFF. And when you go to that exclusive site, everything you put in your cart, you're going to get 5% off that entire order. And of course, while you're there, don't forget, just click on the brands tab and scroll down. You'll find Stormfront Freaks, and you'll find all the favorites there. Again, that's at helicity.co/SFF. We're going to go ahead. It is time for our final break. Our never-ending supply of hashtag WeatherFools is coming up, as well as we've got some funny weather memes that you'll be able to add to your collection tonight. So stay tuned. All right, cool. So, hey, let's quick do this because I got to clean up this spill on my table. It's getting a little closer to my laptop here. It's like a flash flood. It's like It's like Hurricane Smirnoff coming in with storm surge.
Wow.
Phil, an alien drank my beer.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I don't get
My
that
alien's
around
flat on the ground. He had a little much. So, Matt, do me a quick favor. If you can do a quick little plug for us. Say, hi, this is Space City weather meteorologist Matt Lanza, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast. You can introduce yourself however you want. I don't care, but.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Hi, I'm meteorologist Matt Lanza of Space City Weather in Houston, and you are listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Cool. Awesome.
Nailed it.
Wow, first
Good
try.
job.
Good job.
So here's the scoop. We always tell our guests you're welcome to stick around and hang out here for our Weather Fools and other couple segments, probably be about 10, 15 minutes. Or you can leave if you don't feel like hanging around and you've had enough of us. I understand.
No, I'll stick around.
Cool. Good. All right. So you guys, so Brady, you're doing Weather Fools.
Yeah.
I've got one. Dina, you're doing weather memes. I've got one. You figure out the rest here. I got to clean up my spill.
Okay.
All right, who has a weather fool? So
I do.
I do,
I
and
have one.
mine's so damn funny. Wait till you see it.
Wait, so Serena's got one, Dina's got one, Phil's got one, and Maz is slacking. All right, pretty. Just kidding.
Again,
Maz, I will say this: you generally come with one, so
I'm consistent.
I
pretty
think
consistent.
so. I think so.
He comes with 0.
I come with
Did-
0. Yeah, I don't know.
So
what
I'm
he
gonna go
brings.
He's
last 'cause
consistent at 0.
I have a feeling mine because Dina is reacting the way she is. I think Dina actually has mine, so I'm gonna go last. And if Dina, you take one,
Okay.
I'm just not gonna go
because this is
so.
pretty damn funny.
Yeah, I think
All right.
I think
Excited
you have
now.
mine.
I
Yeah.
am too.
I'm genuinely
For the
excited.
weather memes, I have one, and who else?
See,
Anybody?
I didn't know we were supposed to come with one. I was looking and I didn't see in
you
the
and
email.
Phil.
Phil said bring a weather meme. I was like, oh, these must be ones that they just have. So
Just
I
you
did.
and
Okay.
Phil.
Oh, Phil said he had a weather meme.
Matt, you got one?
Don't.
It's okay.
That's like, have you seen what I've been doing for the past 4 weeks?
I mean, if you
Wow.
were doing the shark in the freeway every time, because that's all I ever
Oh,
say.
I know. And when I first saw that, even the Weather Channel app did it, and they're like, "Oh, you guys got to see it." And I'm like, "You guys, it's fiberglass." And he's like, "That's why we put it in quotes." And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
It was. I will admit that got me at first. Like I
It
looked
did.
at it,
It
and
was
I'm like,
funny.
what the hell? And I'm
I don't
like,
think
this
I've
doesn't
seen it.
make any sense. And then I saw that
it was
like,
a fiberglass
fine.
shark that got blown around." And it looked really good in video, but it was like a shark. It looked like, Sharknado type thing.
Mm.
It was
But-
like
Was,
on somebody's
probably
sign,
was.
like for their business, like a
Yeah.
big fake shark, and it broke
Yeah.
off and blew through the wind and like
Oh my
tumbled and splashed in a puddle, and
Wow.
it made you question reality, at least for me.
I think it's real. All right, everyone, make sure you share your screen to
Oh yeah, good.
Phil. Are you figuring that out?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Okay, everyone, share your screen. Which screen am I sharing?
Good to remind me. Phil, you had weather memes, right?
I've got one. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Oh, yikes!
Well, I averted the storm surge. I had Ike Dyke or whatever set up over here. We were good.
Hey, Phil, do you remember Ike coming through Cincinnati?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was crazy.
That was a big deal.
That was crazy.
Oh, Phil, you see MJ's back? He says he can
MJ.
assist you.
I'm back and can run the share. Okay, cool.
Ooh.
Nice.
Good.
All right. He's got it.
God survive the storm, MJ.
Storms.
All right, so everyone's sharing their screen, so MJ can lead that. So cool. So I don't have to worry about it anymore. All right. So I can talk more.
Oh shit.
Okay, so what we'll do? So we're gonna come in, Brady. I'm gonna we got to go quick for Brady. Introduce you with that, right? And then once you're done, episode 140 show notes, and then Dina, little Cruel
Whoa.
Summer
Nice.
weather meme. Episode 140 show notes. If any of you have a weather fool, make sure you send me. I know I got Dina and Serena's. Send me the links. So I've got those to put in the show notes. Same thing with the weather memes. If you've got a link to that, let me know. We will not do Freak Fan Box because MJ's not on. So I will basically close it up after funny weather memes. Now I am going to do this. So Serena, Dina, Maz, Brady won't be on. I'm also going to finish with the close tonight. One of the things I'll ask is how listeners can follow you. So you can give a little plug to your Twitter account or your whatever as well. Okay.
Who can?
Fun.
Any of you can. Maz, do you have one?
I have no idea.
Okay. So we're good. All right, so let's
can
we'll
me
get
through
going here. We'll get
website.
we'll get Brady going and out of here. So you ready, Brady?
Let's do
And
it.
Matt, you are welcome to chime in. Like you're now a co-host.
Right.
Unfortunately, you're one of us at this point. So you're welcome to chime in. Yeah, if you got anything to add.
All right.
All right. So Brady,
Let's do it.
coming in. 3,
The Who.
2.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the Stormfront Freaks podcast, and it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show. It's Weatherful. So for those of you first-time listeners or just maybe a little bit forgetful, us as the Weatherfools or us as the Stormfront Freaks, what Weatherfools is we're going out on the internet, the dark web, as Phil likes to say, at Twitter, anywhere where we can find good content, maybe even Space City weather. And we're looking for a video, a tweet of someone doing something not so smart, and it has to do with the weather. So, Serena, I understand you have a Weatherfool this week. Who is your Weatherfool?
I do. So I am a huge fan of Aussie Man Reviews on Facebook or in other places of social media. And he recently posted an entire flood group of videos that is just outstanding. And in this whole thing is this guy biking through the flood. Now, I'm a cyclist, like do triathlons and crazy. This is insane. Like
It's over
I
his
can't
tires.
I can't even imagine
He's
it's just
stupid.
I think
Ridiculous.
his butt is in the water, actually.
Hey, that's one way to get some resistance. Add in some
Yeah.
resistance to the bike. There you go. Apparently. Oh, he's walking it now.
Yeah,
Good
so now he's
workout.
walking it. But this video has got just a lot of really, really great winners.
Wow.
Oh, I like the garbage bags on his feet.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good reminder, people. Don't drive through high water and try not to ride your bike or walk through high water. Both of those aren't very smart because you never know what's underneath. So that was pretty good, Serena. Phil, who is your Weatherfool this week?
I want to know if Matt, like, do you guys highlight Weatherfools on your blog?
We don't. We probably
should.
though.
You probably should.
This is
Matt. This is how we satisfy our National Weather Service ambassador program that we're in, the Weather Ready Nation. So we're a Weather Ready Nation ambassador. This is our contribution, is by showing what you should not be doing in bad weather situations. So I love this tweet. You guys know, and Serena especially, right? There's been a lot of weather going on up in the northeast of our country. It says filmed the Fort Washington, Pennsylvania tornado from the hotel bathroom. Now, my first thought is, what hotel bathroom has gigantic windows like this in it?
It's a nice one.
I don't know of any, but sure enough, there's a tree out the window, and it's, and you can see the rain, the sideways rain. You can see some leaf debris. It is screaming outside, and this dude is just standing by the window filming this, apparently in the bathroom. So who knows what he's doing in the bathroom?
He's multitasking, Bill.
Oh my God. Is that what you call that?
Wow.
What hotel bathroom
I
has a
could
window?
probably do that if I had a window in my bathroom, but
Oh my god!
Like that big?
The wind direction just could completely change too. So that's not a good sign. Wow.
Yeah, you really see it shift in the video.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's crazy. Anyway.
Yeah, that's another good reminder. Driving through water is not safe. Being near a window when there's winds of, tornado winds or hurricane winds, probably not the best idea ever. So
Brady, and taking your phone in the bathroom.
yeah. Don't take your phone in the bathroom. That's the number one rule, I think, of all that.
And number two.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. All right, Dina. I understand you have a Weatherfool this week. Who's your Weatherfool?
All right. This is the best Weatherfool, and Matt will like it because it was in Houston, and it's this guy. Of all the things the Islanders expect with hurricanes, Michael Myers strolling on the Galveston beach isn't one of them. So this guy is dressed as Michael Myers with a mask, and he's got like a fake knife, and he's just walking across the beach, and it's insanity. And now I got to go through it. But this guy is dressed, he had fake blood on the knife. He scared the shit out of everybody. And people didn't know what to do. So the police came and arrested him, and they took him down on the beach, and it was great.
Oh,
But the
they did
video's
take
funny
him down.
too.
Like,
They
seriously,
did.
took him down.
They took him down,
Get down on your
Yeah.
knees.
and it was one of those things where, like, if you're not there, it's funny, but like I can't. Could you imagine like looking out the window or being in trouble and looking out and seeing that guy walking around?
And
I wish I had.
Apparently, he's a local lawyer too, which makes it even more fascinating.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not a very good one, probably.
I know he did an interview afterwards, and he was like, "I'm
Of
just
course he
being
did.
funny," but I'm like, "Dude, oh come on!" But
Yeah,
I mean, that would
I mean,
scare the
so-
shit out of me.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh, wow.
And MJ, I don't know if you want to pan to me, but I actually got so Dina, and I told Dina before this, I was like, I'm all right, I'm not going to play mine if you've got the same one. And I knew it was the same one, but here's the kind of a video
Is it
of this guy. Yeah, he's just, I mean, look at him. He's even walking the walk. He's even
good?
walking like
Because
Michael Myers.
mine wouldn't load there. Good, yeah, that was the one I had. Isn't that funny? And he's got
And
the
it's just
walk
like-
too.
He's got the knife, and it's like you're in the middle of a tropical
Yeah.
storm, and what are you doing? I don't know, man. That is the quintessential Weatherful if I've ever seen one. So
The fun thing about Galveston is that they're always a little eccentric ahead of these storms. If you go back and look at Ike during 2008, there was a guy dressed up as a bear that was in a bunch of TV news reports
Oh
to
my
search
God.
for Ike Bear, and it's hilarious.
man.
If you
Oh,
want to
man.
get people off the beach, though, put Michael Myers
That's
up there
actually-
tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty smart.
Walk
Myers
around,
a bear.
yeah.
These guys are smarter than we actually think they are. I
Yeah.
see what's going on.
Yeah.
Next
Well-
is
well,
going to be
those
like
are-
Jason and Freddy.
Yeah, I know. I actually was looking up Jason, and because I forgot it was Michael Myers. But yeah, that's going to be next.
I'm
So-
glad you had the video, because when I went to try to play it, it must have played out when I had it in the tab. So I'm glad you had it. It was great.
Yeah, we're going to have that video along with all of our other videos for the Weatherfools. You can look in your favorite podcast app or at stormfrontfreaks.com. Look for show 140 in the show notes section. Phil? Or no, whoever's like weather memes to you.
All right. Funny weather memes. I just got to listen to the song a second. We're jamming. All right, so weather memes, they're all over Facebook, they're all over Twitter, and it's one of those things that goes by and it just makes you laugh out loud. Phil, I know you have a weather meme, right?
I do have a weather meme, and I'm going to say this. I still got to figure out how to make it available so people can actually see it. But because I made this one, I made this weather meme, and this is the favorite quote from Maz. Maz, you want to say that quote? You say it better than me.
I don't think the heavy stuff's going to come down for quite a while.
Yeah, so everyone knows the quote from Caddyshack from Bill Murray, but I attached this to a massive microburst over, I don't know what
awesome.
city this is, but it is just this massive downburst coming down and is just obviously leveling whatever part of the city is just right now getting hit by that storm.
That almost looks like a mushroom cloud. It's so
Yeah.
heavy.
So that's mine.
Good.
All right. I have two quick ones too. So this one, it says, you got to look at it. If you see a beer, you've got a serious drinking problem.
Yeah.
Because it's the color and the clouds between two two kind of like mountains, and it definitely looks like a beer.
Yeah, I'll have to tell you,
I'm
that's
like-
the first thing I thought of.
That's a beer.
I did too. I thought it was a beer the first time I saw it.
And my alien thought that same thing too.
And then the other one is me 1 week into September. Where's the fall weather? And he's screaming. I'm like, because I'm like that too. As soon as you hit fall, you want to start getting the sweater weather. So, I love them. Besides all the ones from, that are talking about the cold is coming and all those, but I love them. All right. So if you want to see any of these, check out stormfrontfreaks.com, episode 140 show notes.
Very good. Well, hey, everybody, I think that about does it for this episode of Stormfront Freaks podcast. As always, thank you. And if you've made it this far, definitely thanks for listening or watching. Matt's still with us, for crying out loud. Hard to believe. But before I get to our next guest, certainly if you like the show, don't forget to subscribe to or even follow the Stormfront Freaks network so you get notified. You receive the latest episodes of our show and El Niños, which is the Tornado Hunters podcast. And for our listeners, El Nino's has gone on a kind of little hiatus just for a little bit. But they'll be back, so be prepared for that. But all of those shows, if you follow us on your podcast player, they'll be delivered right to your podcast. Easier for you to say, right to your podcast player when we release it. And I know there's some podcast players where you can't get our show for like 24 hours if you don't follow us. So it's just kind of how that works. Also visit, as I mentioned, patreon.com/Stormfront Freaks. You can check out all the ways we can do more with you and how you can help support the show, whether it's watching these live video recordings that we do and all the behind the scenes stuff that we talk about, and you can see for the video as well. But you can also chat with us during these recordings. You can get access to exclusive merch. And like Dan and Angela tonight, you can join us and our guests as well. So just visit patreon.com/Stormfront Freaks, and you can join the team. And for all of you, thanks for supporting the show. We love doing this. This has been cool. Doing the Patreon thing has actually been cooler than I ever imagined it would be. I was a little skeptical doing that at first, and now I love it a lot better than anything else. So it's awesome. Special thanks to our guest tonight, Matt Lanza. Matt, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Again, not so good on the lightning round.
Got some work to do.
Why are you rubbing it in? Let him.
It's fun. It was funny.
That was good.
Because sometimes people do really well, sometimes they're right in the middle, and then there's like utter failures, like we had tonight. So it was really good.
Wow. We love you, Matt.
He'll never come back. He'll never. No, it's always fun doing that. So Matt, you were awesome and a good sport, which is cool. So I want to do this. I want to find out, because our listeners always have been kind of asking how they can find and follow our co-host. So I'm going to go around the horn here a little bit. Serena, how can our listeners find you or follow you?
Everything is WX Serena, which is WXCYRENA. That's on Instagram, Facebook, website, Twitter, everything. Find me there.
Is everything in the word everything?
We're going to leave out the word everything.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that website might take you somewhere weird. Just saying.
All right, Dina, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter. I go by LadyPilot70. So that's pretty much where I do all my weather stuff. Just find me there.
That works. All right, Maz, can people find you at all, or follow you, or stalk you anywhere?
Yeah. Money Storm for you, with the 4 in there. Money Storm for you, and I might
Money Storm.
I might actually check it this year. So
you're setting everybody up like Matt did, right? Yeah, I've got an account. I mean, you're not going to find anything on it. But
right. I never post.
He's my mentor.
You can find me on Twitter. I'm at PhilStormPod. That's how you can find me. But hey, our next episode, we're going to be back in 2 weeks recording Raw for our Patreon members. This is going to be Thursday, September 30th. We're going to have another episode in our Women in Chasing series that we've been doing now for 5 years that we've been around. So we've got the awesome Jessica Moore and Jenny Hagen are going to be joining us. Some great chasers, but amazing photographers. Both of them are just outstanding photographers. So I can't wait to see that. And if you're part of our Patreon group, seeing that, you'll be able to watch the videos and all that stuff as well. It'll be great. But we always edit the audio podcast. That'll be up and available the following Sunday. So for MJ, who's out somewhere in the boondocks chasing a storm, but still listening in, for Maz, Dina, Serena, Brady went off to play hockey somewhere. But of course, we got Matt and Dan and Angela here. For everybody, I'm going to go ahead and signal the all clear, and we'll catch you guys next time. So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good job, Matt.
Cool. Angela's having another drink. Matt,
Angela,
you were awesome. I was giving you shit, and I hope you're okay with that. I was just giving you a bad time. Here's the fun thing. Like, you can imagine, after now 140 shows, we've had all the different guests that we've had on. There are ones that I can just tell, all right, so cool, we can have a lot of fun with this person. They're all in having fun, and
then there's Matt.
And then there's And then there's people that, I'll talk to them ahead of time or email them ahead of time, or when we start the show, I can just tell it's just like going forward, point A to B. It might be titillating conversation, but outside of that, that's about as good as it gets. So you were one of those that I'm like, all right, we can have some fun. And I can honestly tell you this, had I had a chance to talk with you ahead of time, so ever since COVID, I don't really do pre-tests with guests. We used to always do, we'd do a sound check, like during the week, like on Tuesday, let's do a sound check. Make sure you can get on okay. Everything sounds good. We stopped doing that because now since COVID, everybody does Zoom calls and they know how to do a Zoom call. And
everything's hooked up.
Don't need to do sound checks, but that would give me the opportunity to really meet somebody. And then I could maybe do a lightning round game show, a little more risque if I knew it was somebody that could have a little fun. And if you ever want to know, just go back and Rick Reichmuth from Fox News. We've had some entertaining lightning rounds. Joe Moravsky, the American Ninja Warrior, who's also a meteorologist. We had a good one with him, but yeah, I can usually.
And then he goes, I have a lot of children following me. And we're like,
That's right.
Oh, jeez. Had to ruin it.
Awkward.
Yeah, it's fun. But anyway, Matt, you're awesome. So thanks so much.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, this is fun.
thanks for
Look,
coming.
I was following. I think we follow each other already. I was like, oh, I got him on there.
congrats on the 3 million. We're going to give you 5 more. 3 million.
I like
it.
Like five.
Yeah,
like,
five.
like a total of 5.
Yeah, like 5.
Yeah, not 5 million.
He's gonna break a record now.
That's right. Yeah.
And then before you go, Dan, Angela, either of you have questions for Matt before he takes off, or you good?
You've scared Angela. That's why she's drinking straight out of the bottle.
She's like, yeah, he's going to mute me anyway. I may as well just get wasted.
But,
I'm going to get drunk tonight.
But thank you, Matt. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my pleasure. Thank you again for having me. It's nice to be here. Had a good time.
Good. You gotta laugh like when you're, especially when you're in hurricane season or severe season, and you're all.
Yeah. Self-deprecating
gotta
humor and laughter. That's how I get
decompress.
through the year.
Yeah, seriously, like starting early October through like the end of this month, people like you, Matt, are in my mind constantly where I'm like, I wonder how they're doing. Like really how they're doing. It's hard.
This is me.
It's hard.
Stress. I'm fine. And I'm taking little stress gummies.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's funny.
All right. Well, thank you. And what I'll do is we usually post the show on Sunday. So we edit the audio podcast and we'll post it on Sunday. And I'll try and like copy you on it just so you know when it's up and available and all that good stuff.
Awesome.
Cool.
Sounds good.
So thanks a lot, Matt. It was great having you. We got to get you on again. That was fun.
Thank you, guys.
Bye,
Definitely.
Thanks,
Y'all
Matt.
take care.
See you, buddy.
All right, you guys. I gotta